This is the outdoor exhibition of Vagabond. We have a diversity of artists from visual artists, we have performance artists, we have writers, poets, comedians, graphic designers, musicians. One of the goals is to show how expansive the identity is and to really dissuade the notion that, are you Vietnamese enough? Because the answer is yes. I guess that's my journey on this project. I've been engaging with that question and really figuring out what that means when I'm also identify as queer, when I also identify as American. You know, there's a lot of layers that I think this exhibit really opens up for discussion. Okay, I guess let's go through some of the artists real quick. Well, this is me. I'm Anthony Lay, and I'm one of the co-creators of Vagabond. This is Antonius, very talented visual artist, and I really enjoy speaking with Antonius about having a life as an artist, making a life as an artist, and what that means, and kind of the impact of that, and how to do that with empathy and care for yourself. This is Win, and Win is a very talented graphic designer. Win designed the outdoor exhibit as well as the zine, and as you can see, there's a really interesting mix. I think that the design really pops against this wall, and there's like really interesting little iconography, so I really love how that turned out. This is Valerie, photographer, photojournalist, and Valerie inspires me a lot because she really cares about refugee populations. You know, the Vietnam population, diaspora is one of those, but really kind of providing empathy and telling stories from other refugee populations, such as from Afghanistan, and so I really value kind of the heart behind Valerie's work and her interest in telling those very difficult stories. This is Tu, writer, poet, painter as well, muralist. Tu inspires me because she's great with boundaries. She has high standards for herself, and she demands a lot from other people when she works with them, but she also gives a lot. And that inspires me to kind of stand up for myself. This is Philippa Hughes, the co-creator of Vagabond. So I've learned so much from Philippa. Philippa makes social sculpture, which I'm learning more and more about every day. And Philippa really values dialogue. And so I've learned so much from her about how the value of dialogue. You know, that's something that doesn't come easy for myself, and so I'm really now thinking of incorporating into my practice because of Philippa and her great work. This is Naomi. Naomi is a performance artist, and I've seen many performances by her, and I really am fascinated by how she transforms everyday objects in these performances, and I'm still learning very much about those performances, so I'm very fascinated to see what Naomi comes up with next. This is Khoi, a musician, human rights activist from Vietnam, and Khoi also is a big role model of mine. You know, Khoi really stands up for the rights of artists and for free speech, and really this person supports, you know, the people, and her courage, and also the power in her performance. She's kind of wild on stage and really avant-garde in these very fascinating, like, free ways. And so I'm learning to exercise those things from her. This is Leo. Leo is a comedian, grew up in Vietnam, and Leo, obviously quite funny, but he's also a community organizer. He gathers other comedians, other Asian comedians, gathers people for fundraisers for Palestine. I value Leo in his style of leadership, and so I've learned a lot from him there. This is Kim. Kim's based in New York and DC, and Kim is also just such an activist and an organizer. Kim's always thinking about, how to help people. And I've also learned a lot of, Kim is also a Lao, and so I've learned a lot about kind of that relationship to the war in Vietnam and 270 Million Project. I've been thinking a lot about bombs. Khan, visual artist. I really like, Khan really is a role model about family for me, with his own family, amazing. Also making work about family, that's something that I've dabbled in but sometimes struggle with, and I really appreciate Khan's storytelling and vulnerability to just open his own story up for the betterment of everyone. This is Kat. I really like Kat. Kat makes these very fascinating sculptures that they're just so intricate in some ways and so bold, and I really appreciate how Kat lets the work speak for itself, and that's something that I'm learning from Kat. This is Jess. Jess is a musician, organizer, and activist. I also volunteer with Jess for the Viet Place Collective. I've learned so much about liberation work from Jess and about recontextualizing my own goals and what I want to do with the skills that I have. And so Jess's style of leadership and facilitation also is such a big role model of mine. So I value Jess so much. Okay, I think that's it.